Okay, guys, welcome to Withstanding the Storm podcast/show. We really don't know what this is. It's just something that we decided to do. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Storm Thomas. I am a professional wrestler, model, actor, entertainer, and this is my lovely wife, my tag team partner, my partner in crime, Lady Jan. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who don't know you or sadly only know you as the merchandise lady at the wrestling shows.
That's so true. That's so true. My favorite question is he on the show tonight? I wouldn't be there if he wasn't. So yes, Lady Jan, wife, I'm a mother. I have a full-time career that I absolutely love and enjoy. And this is an adventure. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, so again, for those of you who are new to the show, new to the channel, we're all new to the show, but I've been a professional wrestler for 10 years. We both also have 9-to-5 jobs. We live in what you call the regular life, real world, but there just recently felt like there was something missing, especially with COVID and the pandemic. And, you know, we've really been racking our brains on what it is that we're really passionate about. What do we want to do outside of our 9-to-5? I've spent a lot of time reading and researching, just a lot over the course of the last few months. And one of the things that I read that really struck me is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, "Don't go to work for someone else from 9 to 5 and then not work on yourself for the rest of the time when you're off." I read another quote that said, "Your 9 to 5 should pay your bills. Your 6 to 10 should be about you." So whether that is to create a second income, work your 9 to 5 until your 6 to 10 becomes your 9 to 5. Just all these different things that I've picked up and read. We brainstormed, we took some time and just decided that why not take a crack shot at a show or a podcast. And, I put out a lot of content, whether it's my wrestling matches, promos, different things on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that, we really enjoy, whether it's quotes, whether it's, wrestling content. And we figured, why not just create more content? It's something that's fun. It's something that we can both do together. It's something that, we're somewhat passionate about, I would say. And it's a great way for us to look back in 10, 20, 30 years and say, we did this. And it was something that we were able to do together. So that's kind of just a basic rundown of who we are and a little bit of what we do and why we wanted to start this channel. But again, the channel is not just about us. It's about you. We wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for viewers. So first and foremost, thank you. We hope that you like the video. We hope that you'll leave comments on the video. We hope that you're going to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with future videos. Because, I don't know about you, but I think we could probably set a lofty goal of at least once a week, maybe once every other week.
For sure. We've had a lot of life experiences, and some of them are crazy. Some of them are humbling, and it's amazing. I think that there's a lot of knowledge that we can share, but we also know a lot of people that have gone through a lot of things, and having a platform where we could share that with people and being able to give somebody the opportunity to share their story, I think would be an amazing educational feat. I'm always wanting to learn more and improve myself. Sometimes I do really great with it, sometimes I fail, but that's part of life, right? That failure aspect, how you get back up. But I think that learning from others is probably the best thing that we can do. And so I think for sure there's lots of people that we're going to get to talk to. We have a few in mind. I think it'll be exciting here to come, but once a week is a very obtainable goal for us.
Yeah, I think having additional guests on the podcast, now whether I'm on the show every week or Jan's on the show every week, with or without some sort of other guest on the show, I think that's a great idea. I think it would be a lot of fun for me to bring in some of my wrestling friends and talk about the ins and outs of the independent wrestling scene how do guys start training? Where should they train? Who should they train from? There's so many things that I can get into that I don't want to do in this episode, but in future episodes, I think that's a wonderful idea. And I know that you have a lot of people that you're friends with who have literally traveled all over the world, in different areas, whether that be in, higher education, military, athletics.
Yes.
Another thing we could talk about a little bit more about our backgrounds is we were both college athletes, maybe not at the highest competitive levels, but we wear that badge with honor. I played 2 years of college football, at our alma mater, William Penn University. Big shout out to Iowa, big shout out to Oskaloosa in the small town. We give the biggest shout outs to the smallest towns. But to be honest, that's where we met. That's
what made us.
That's where this whole thing started. Without Oskaloosa, Iowa, without William Penn University, there wouldn't be a Withstanding the Storm. There wouldn't be a Storm Thomas. There wouldn't be a Lady Jan. There wouldn't be the adventures that we've had and that we fully intend to get into with this show. So, like I said, I spent 2 years playing collegiate football. I was an offensive lineman. I topped out at about 315 pounds. Sidebar, fitness is going to be a big thing that we discuss here in the channel. As you can tell, I'm no longer 315 pounds. And Jan,
wait a minute. Do we get to talk about the food regimen that we go through for you?
We're definitely going to talk about meal
prepping. Cracking at least 36 eggs a day for
this man? we're gonna get into fitness. We're gonna get into meal prepping. I do also offer online coaching, so that's going to be discussed here and there about that opportunity. But Jan, you played multiple sports. You didn't just play one like I did. I only played 2 years.
Yeah, I played 2 years collegiate soccer. I played a year of collegiate golf. I took off my senior year because we had gotten married and then decided, hey, let's have a kid. So it's really hard to golf with a pregnant belly. I did it once, though. It was lots of fun. I did play tennis quite a few times, though, while pregnant. That was fun, too. Not collegiately. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity there for talking about those experiences and then giving some of the knowledge to others. We have a lot of friends whose kids are getting ready to start looking at college and don't make the same mistakes that we did in some aspects. Student loans over here. And just understanding. I think there's a lot of, what is that, millennial versus Gen Z. Gen Z thinks they have it all figured out sometimes, and you can think that, and I can think that, anybody can think that, but life is life, and until we figure out how to work it together, we're not going to get very far.
No, we could go back and forth on millennials and Gen Z, and I don't even know what generation I even fall in anymore, nor do I care. My goal in life is to inspire people. I want to motivate people, whether it be through my fitness journey, whether it be through the many lives that I feel like I've lived already, whether it be through wrestling, whether it be through this. If I can offer any type of advice for you to follow, or any advice that you say, hey, that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life, do not follow that advice, because I've experienced tons of it, I promise you. If we can do that through this podcast, through this show, if we can do that through our words, that's what the goal is. To motivate somebody, to offer our opinions, to offer our advices, and understand that they are just our opinions. They are our advices. We don't, it may not hold a drop of water for you, and that's completely fine. But that's the wonderful thing about life, is that everybody else is able to have and express that opinion. And the only thing that I ask my clients, I ask my friends, my family, don't be negative. If you don't like what I have to say, that's completely fine. If you don't like what Jan has to say, that's completely fine too. You don't have to. We just ask that if you're going to leave a comment on the video, make it constructive. If you're going to tell us that the show sucks, maybe you don't like the set. We're not 100% sold on it yet either. It's just, it's a little bit about who we are and what we have and what brought us to withstanding the storm. We just ask if you're going to leave a comment, be constructive. Give me a tip. Give me something that I can work with. Don't just say, hey, I don't like your set. Say, hey, I don't like your set. I feel like you could enhance it by XYZ. If you don't like the way that we talk, tell us how we can enhance it. Don't just be negative. Offer some sort of constructive criticism and some sort of positivity to the world.
I think that's like my favorite thing about people. Like the things that I've learned in the last 2 years more is being able to listen to people and like accept critique and criticism, because I think people have so much more of a valuable input in some things, but you gotta know how to deliver it, right? You gotta know how to hand somebody that criticism or that critique, because I'm always happy to learn when I'm wrong or when I could be doing it better, but you gotta come at me the right way, because if you come at me sideways, I'm coming right back.
Well, and I think it's more because something that I've learned recently, I heard somebody say it and it really stuck with me. Don't get married to whatever. I've already gotten married once, guys. I don't suggest you do it more than once. Small joke. But don't get married to something, whether it's an exercise. You know, I could tell you probably a half a dozen exercises that are just trash that I see people do on a daily basis. If something works better, don't be married to an old thing that could be improved. And I think that's what Jan was getting at is, I'm not married to the idea of this set. I'm not married to the idea of this show. If I could offer something better, or somebody else brought a better opportunity or a bigger platform for me to still do this and offer this advice and these opinions, I'm not married to this. I'm not married to a specific exercise. I'm not married to a specific diet routine. If there's something better that works for all of us, let's take it into consideration and let's do what's better. If it don't make dollars, then it probably don't make sense. You know, I don't have time to waste on cents when I'm trying to chase millions.
So does that mean eventually we'll just do like a couple episodes on my vast amount of Walt Disney World knowledge?
We're definitely going to cover Walt Disney World. For those of you who don't know us very personally and only know us through wrestling or only know us through social media, we're huge Walt Disney World fanatics. We have annual passes. We will probably continue to have annual passes. And to be honest, it's one of the things that really brought us together closer as a family, especially with my extended family. I have a younger brother, a sister-in-law, and 2 nephews who are 4 and 7. And again, we might as well talk about our children.
Sure.
We have 2 daughters that are 9 and 10. For the most part, you probably won't see much of them. We like to keep a few things private in our life, and I think the identity of our children, for those of you who don't know us personally, is probably going to be one of those things that we just hold off on for a little while. Again, I'm not married to that idea either. Maybe they want to
really want to meet you guys.
Yeah, maybe they want to come on the podcast. Maybe they want to sit down and talk to you about some of the things that they're going through. To be honest, I've probably learned more from my children than I've learned from most adults in my life. But again, back to the main point, we are huge Disney fanatics. And if you want to judge me for that, by all means, stand in line, leave a comment, tell me what you think I could do differently besides enjoying my life and going to Disney and enjoying my imagination. That's probably why most people are depressed, sad, lonely, is because at some point in their life they lost that imagination, they lost that creativity. And that's one of the things that we decided we don't want for our girls. We want them to explore creativity. We want them to have imaginary friends as long as they want to. We want them to believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all of those things that they don't, that people tell you shouldn't believe in or you shouldn't feed to your kids.
Magic.
Feed it to them, in my opinion. So yeah, we definitely go to Walt Disney World as much as humanly possible.
He goes for the Dole Whips. Don't let him lie to you.
Look, you can't have a better snack than at Disney World. Epcot Food and Wine Festival, Epcot Art Festival, churros, turkey legs, Dole Whips. I could go on for days. Mickey Mouse pretzels as big as your face with warm cheese. Playing your cheat day, go to Disney, spend all your money. But yeah, there's so many things that I want us to be able to get into. As you can tell, we're shooting from the hip, we're flying from the cuff. We don't have a script.
That's how we are, though. We've always been this way.
Yeah, we're pretty much just gonna shoot straight as it is. I don't really believe in trying to abide by anybody's rules. I've done that before. Never been much of a rule follower. I'm a consummate rule breaker. But I do my best to at least be a decent human being to others, which is something that we will discuss in grave detail here on this podcast, is just being a good human being, going out of your way, being positive, showing people that there is a brighter side to the world. Mental health is something I definitely want to discuss and get into. There's so many things, but for right now, we just wanted to be able to share a few stories with you guys and talk about what our intent is and what our goals are. I would be lying if I said I didn't want us to achieve some sort of success with this. I think that there is plenty of room in the world, especially in the YouTube world, for more content, more videos, more podcasts, more shows, more vlogs. Whatever that creative content is, there's plenty of room for it. There's an audience for it. There's a set of ears that want to hear what somebody else has to say, myself included. Like I said earlier, I work a 9 to 5, and I spend 90% of that with my earbuds in, scrolling through different YouTube channels, listening to other people's perspectives, whether it's fitness channels, lifestyle channels, vlog channels, entertainment channels. And I feel like I can give to that same community as well. So that's part of what we're doing here. I know
You're
there's
really good at multitasking, by the way. It's impressive. I can't listen to something and do something else, but he's like, yeah, I listened to this, and I'm like, that's like a 90-minute thing. I couldn't have done that and still done my job, and you did. Wow, I'm impressed.
I have a you know this very well. I can't really sit still for long periods of time. You'll see me fidgeting with my hands, checking my watch.
This might be the longest he sat down today.
There's
not even lunch.
My mind is always racing. I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, fresh beginnings, new starts. On a whim, we bought a house this last year, which we're really excited about, and which we want to show you guys like befores and afters and in progresses. This week I'm meeting with contractors about remodeling the kitchen and doing the floors. But I've never been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but I'm pretty sure it's there. I bounce around a lot. I can't sit still. And I just want to work. I want to work for me. I want to work on the things that we're passionate about, the things that make us happy. I want to be able to document that here for you, for us, to be able to look back in 10 years and say, hey, do you remember when we first bought the house and we talked about all these different ideas? So those are the things that we're gonna really enjoy about this, and I think that's the biggest deal, and the plan is to really just enjoy what we're doing.
For sure. I think that's all we can do.
I
mean, we're not promised tomorrow, so
no, definitely not promised.
You gotta
tomorrow.
hit it while you can.
And I know there's things that you're gonna want to discuss, and I want it to be known that this was kind of my brainchild idea, but Jan is just as much a part of this as I am, and there's probably going to be some episodes where she's going to want to discuss, for lack of better terms, I'm not always PC, but lady things.
Lady things? That's what you're calling it?
I got nothing else.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see, but I do think that there is a space needed for some things. I think I've had an interesting life before you, and at the very beginning of us, and I've had a lot of people tell me I should share some of those things more than I have. I don't even know if anybody in our current life knows some of those things. But yeah, I think that there's a space for that, and I think there's also a need for that. Being a girl mom, I wholeheartedly recognize that empowerment of some things needs to move forward, and also being a voice and an advocate for those, not only for women or girls, but also like minorities and just those who are disenfranchised, I think need to have a space. And if we can provide that space, sometimes it would be nice.
No, we will provide that space. I mean, I'm sure from your first impression, you see the pictures, the awards, the muscles, the flexing, in the background, the cartoon art. Yes, I portray a absolute badass in the wrestling ring. It's not a very far cry from who I am in real life, but I also have that softer side of me, being a girl dad. I will absolutely rip your head off if you look at my girls the wrong way, so that will never change. But I will also be the first one to ask you how you're doing. If I can tell you're not having a good day, I'll be a shoulder for you to cry on, a hand for you to hold, that person for you to lean on when times get tough. And I've always been that way for my friends, for my family. I try to tell people, if you need something, come to me. And I don't just say that to say it, like I mean it. I tell everybody, if you, how did I put that? If you invest into me $1, I'm going to invest into you 20. If you, here's the exact quote. If you support me, even in the slightest bit, I will always be loyal to you.
Facts.
Your little bit of support will earn my loyalty, whether you ever even know it or not. Prime example, I just opened a store with pro wrestling tees. I put up 3 shirts, and immediately people started to buy the shirts, and I was so grateful. And I couldn't even help myself. Like the first few people who bought my shirt off Pro Wrestling Tees, I gave them like 3 or 4 shirts or signed autographs or headbands or whatever it was, just to show my appreciation from my old inventory of stuff that I made prior. And it's not like I was trying to buy their buys. I just felt so overwhelmed and so touched by their small show of support that I felt like I had to show my loyalty. And that's how I've always been. If you're loyal to me, I will be loyal to you until the end of time. You know, I have friends that I went to school with in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade that some of them I still keep in contact with on Facebook. And I'm not going to name drop, but a few of those friends over in the neighborhood that I grew up in should already know that if they called me, needed anything, I would literally drop what I'm doing and be there for them. You know, whether it's just, again, a shoulder to cry on, you know, you need me to help you fix something, you need me to help you out in a specific situation, I will always be loyal to those who are loyal to me. And I want to give that here. So if you show your support, you drop a like on the video, you leave comments on the video. We've already discussed designating specific amounts of time to reading the comments, responding to as many as possible, and showing that same love back. Because there's no better feeling in the world than when love is reciprocated in one form or fashion. And I think we both know, because we've both had those instances in life where it was not reciprocated.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a crushing feeling. And you know, before I ever got into wrestling, I was always a fan of wrestling, and there's no worse feeling in the world than when you want to give all of your time and support into a wrestler or a superstar or a mega athlete of some nature, and you get blown off. Doesn't even have to be a fan situation like that. It could be a friend or a colleague or someone that you look up to, and I know how it's made me feel when they wouldn't give me the time of day after I was willing to give them the shirt off my back. So I definitely don't want to ever have that said about me or us. You know, so again, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to follow us on our Instagrams. We're gonna link all that at the bottom of the video. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, which, by the way, we both absolutely suck at Twitter. So maybe don't follow us on Twitter. Follow us if you want to, but just know that we're not going to post as aggressively as we do on. Yeah, no, I'm more of an Instagram.
I like Instagram.
It just makes me happier. It seems to be more positive.
I'm a visual person.
Well, and I feel like Instagram has a much higher positivity rate. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, guys. I want you to understand the difference about our YouTube channel and our podcast. You're not going to see a lot of crazy cuts and different angled cameras because we don't have them. We also don't have a team working for us that's going to do the crazy edits. We are. In the social media space, you see what people want you to see. It's going to be different with us because you're going to get it real, you're going to get it raw, you're going to get it uncut. I'm probably going to slip up and curse. I'll apologize now, I'll apologize later. But I'm going to be real with you. We're going to be real with you. We're going to give you our life story, and we're going to give you what we have to offer.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I might, throw a filter on a photo every once in a while. But when it comes to the channel, it's going to be as real and as authentic as possible because there's no point in us putting out a facade. We're two people living in a world full of billions of others. And you've taken your time, which is the most precious commodity that any of us have. And you've invested it into watching this video, at least this far, or else you won't hear this message. But the fact that you've given us that time, the least we can do is give you the realest versions of ourselves. We're two somewhat happily married people.
Sure. I mean, it's marriage. There's ups and there's downs. And, it does no good to be fake in anything because you can't sustain that. It gets you nowhere in the long run. And so I think showing that's my biggest grievance in the world right now is that you see a lot of people who are just fake in some aspect, and then you see other people comparing that and judging that, and that is demoralizing.
And you can't hide it for long. Like, people see through fake. I see through fake every day in my DMs, in any type of communication I have with people. Like, in a few minutes, I'll know if you're fake or if you're real. So the last thing I'm going to do is give you some character or some facade. We're just two people. We're somewhat happily married. We fight, we argue, we bicker, but we have great times. We have a lot of amazing experiences. We have a lot of real love for each other. And we just want to share that. We want to share that with the world. We want to be able to share that for ourselves. And if we can, again, influence one person, one couple, whatever the case may be, then I feel like we've done a good job in at least spreading some sort of positive message in this world that at this current time in 2021 needs positivity more than anything.
Kindness matters. Kindness matters.
Yeah. Another great quote I heard is, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. And I think on that positive note,
yep,
we're going to go ahead and wrap up this first episode because, to be really, really, really honest, we have no idea what we're doing still.
We could still ramble for hours, like, seriously, but still.
Yeah, we could. But what we're going to do is we're going to sit back, we're going to edit this, we're going to reflect on this, and we are going to formulate a plan of how to bring you guys the most authentic, absolute, real, and raw content that we can bring you on at least a semi-weekly basis. If we can pull off once a week, I'm going to be very happy. If we can pull off more, we're going to do more. I appreciate you guys. Again, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to reach out via comments and leave some type of constructive criticism if you feel the need, or just send a positive message. Just tell us you appreciated our time. You don't even have to say you liked it. Just say, hey, appreciate your time. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for coming to our Storm Talk. This has been Storm Thomas,
Lady Jan.
and on a day-to-day basis, we're just withstanding the storm, and we hope you do too. We'll see you next time.
Bye.